G'day one and all, my name's Mike. I am your voice in the ether, or in this particular episode, I am the Hands in the Pixels. So thank you for joining me for this alternative version of Magic Solo Roleplay. For those of you who have been following the story of Jerrod's Jaunt, well, I'm using Cairn 2nd edition and Mythic 2E. In the most recent episode, The Dead Don't Die, I ran a poll at the end of the episode because our protagonist, Jerrod Blackmire, he was investigating a burnt out prison, and within that prison he encountered a couple of zombies, one that he dispatched with relative ease, and the other one, quite frankly, handed his ass on a plate. And that's where he was left. He was left lying in a pool of his own blood, beaten, bruised, battered. Quite frankly, not in a good way. At the end of that video, I posted a poll. And that poll was of 4 options to see where we were going to go with him. The first of those was to retreat to Glenwood, the town from whence he came, from where he met his quest giver, Ravenclaw. The second option was an unknown saviour comes his way. The third option was stagger his way to the Brotherhood. He still had about another day and a half to get to the Brotherhood of the Zephyr, or investigate the mysterious tracks, because between encounters, as he was moving between buildings, he noticed some mysterious tracks in the snow that led to a building the opposite end of the old burnt out prison. Now, the result was that an unknown saviour was to come his way. So thank you very much for all of you who voted. It probably was the more sensible option. It's not to say that I won't revisit some of these, especially investigating mysterious tracks, because that is definitely got me curious as to what that could potentially be. So what we are going to do is we have to generate Jerrod's saviour. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you guys how the Cairn character generation works. So as you can see here, I have the Cairn Player's Guide, 2nd edition Player's Guide, and within this book it will have all the bits and pieces that you need to do to generate your character. So as you can see, character creation. So when it comes to creating a character, so you roll or choose a background. First roll or choose from the backgrounds table below, and note the page number. So we can see here we have 20 different backgrounds, offering different alternatives, different kind of characters that you can play. I'm not going to go through all of these right now because it will probably take too long. But what I did before the hit record, I went through all these characters to kind of figure out what would be best in this situation. What's the kind of person who's potentially going to come into the prison to rescue Jerrod. And so I've got 2 options here. I've got the Outrider or the March Guard. So I'm just going to go a quick flick through to the March Guard to show you what is going through my mind. So that is page 15. Not quite page 15, what I'm talking about, that's option 15, page 48. There we go, learn to read, Mike. 48, so this is the March Guard. So he's a character who is bound by blood oath to patrol the border and protect the realm. Once sworn, the oath cannot be broken. The guard always finds their own. Now Jerrod himself, part of his background is that he was of the March Guard. So it's a possibility that there is a link here that this character will know who Jerrod is. Because if anybody watched the short I posted recently, which was the result reveal, if you like, the character who encounters Jerrod at the end of it actually calls him by name. So we're either looking at the March Guard as a potential saviour, or I was also looking at the Outrider, option 17, which is 52. 1, 2. So the Outrider. So the Outrider states your coin comes from escorting caravans, tracking fugitives, or lending your blade to a cause. You've been a saviour, an executioner, a hero, and even a villain. Yours is not a solitary path. However, you'll always have your horse. So these are two people who are very much used to being out and about. They know the lands as well. So yeah, I'm in two minds whether to go Outrider or March Guard. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll a D4, and odd number is going to be the March Guard. Even number, we're going to roll up for an Outrider. So where's my D4? Here we go. So D4, so odd, March Guard, even, Outrider. We got 4, so we are going to be rolling for an Outrider. So I'm going to write that down. So Outrider. Right. So the Outrider has starting gear of 3d6 gold pieces, 3 rations, 3 torches, a longsword, leather jerkin, crossbow, and a spyglass. And you get the option of some names here, which I may pick one or I may choose an alternative. What have we got here? So we've got names, we've got potentially Drake, Syra, Keir, Darius, Valen, Rorik, Yara, Ruri, Talon, or Jory. Do you know what? They're actually not bad names. So I will pick one of them at some point at the end. So let's go back to the earlier bits. So the Outrider. So choose a name from the available list, then record each of your character's stats and items. See inventory and territory slots for how to record items. Then roll on each of the included tables in the background. Record your character's items, skills, or abilities from each result. Some backgrounds may ask you to refer to the tables in the marketplace. So what we have here, we have 2 D6 tables. One is what personal code or principle do you uphold? And then what breed is your horse? Why not? So let's roll on those 2. So on personal code or principle do you uphold? We've rolled a 6. So always pay your debts. You always repay what you owe, whether in coin or in kind. You expect nothing less from all others. Take a blacked out ledger, the roll a second time on the bonds, page 12 table. So I'm going to say personal code was personal code was 6, and then what breed is your horse? So what have we got? What have we got strapped between our legs? Yeah. Right. We've got number 4, piebald cob. Piebald cob. So intelligent. It can understand simple commands and even has an instinct for danger. 6 HP and plus 4 slots. So horse is number 4. So I'm gonna then roll on a second time on the bonds, page 12 table. So let's find the bonds. What is bonds? Right, so we need to roll. Yeah. So on his bonds, roll a d20. Oh, there we got a 20. One of your ancestors wronged a moss witch who cursed their bloodline. Your visage causes mirrors to shatter. You've noticed that the shards can sometimes reveal illusions. Yeah, see, I have a problem with this. Because the way I like my games, I obviously it's all about fantasy to a certain degree, but I like grimdark fantasy. I'm not big on magic in that sense. So what I might have to do is let's re-roll, because I don't want anything that's So what we got 16, you carved a whistle from an oak lord's branch. Your act did not go unnoticed. You cannot seem to get rid of yourself of the whistle either. Yeah, let's read through these. I think you inherited a single gem from a long dead relative of scorned your furniture and long dead cousin nephew sworn inheritance stage. You found a tiny prison. You once freed an age from the track stream. You inherited our journey found bark. Each evening its pages are filled with events. You will take a long time of fame so you could take one half of the ancient key. They say that if joined with this twin open the gate through any door. You received a letter detailing incontrovertible proof that your true parentage is that of Fey nobility. No, not doing that. You owe a great debt to a member of nobility and carry their signet ring serves as proof of their protection as well as your obligation. Well, that kind of goes against his personal code because he always pays his debts. You consume a mischievous now. A Roman storyteller once spun a tale of great treasure hidden deep in the wood. You thought it naught but fancy till they gave you a rolled up map. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that could do it. During the travels, you met a dying hunter who asked you to deliver a message to their loved ones. Silver tree sat is addressed only to the Lord of Winter. You found a wounded beast in the forest but chose to ignore it. You see it everywhere now. You promised Jonathan you'd take them a rare gift, something unique in the world. Take a bracelet, pretty woven from twine and flowers. You know what? I'm going to choose Bonds number 11. A Roman storyteller once spun you tales of great treasure hidden deep in the wood. You thought it naught but fancy till they gave you a rolled up map. Petty marked with an X. So petty means it doesn't actually take up any room in your inventory. So bonds, I'm going to write down bonds 11. I say it just takes away from me. It takes away kind of like a magical element from the game that I don't really want. I don't mind magic being inferred because obviously part of this game is going to be like obviously demonic elements, so there's going to be something there. But yeah, it's never been my style. Right. So roll for your characters' attributes and hit protection. So I'm just going to go back to page 52. So players' characters' PCs have just 3 attributes: strength, dexterity, and willpower. So roll 3d6 for each of your character's attributes in order. You may then swap any 2 of the results. Attributes are not universal descriptors. A character with a low strength is not necessarily hopelessly weak. They can still attempt to lift a heavy door or survive a deadly fight. Their risk is simply higher. So I'm going to do 3d6. So we got 6, 10, 14. That would potentially be a strength. Dexterity would be 9. That'd be 13. Yeah, I've got a cold. And willpower 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a bit crap, but do you know what? I'm not going to swap any of these results around, so that's what he's going to be. So strength, dex, and will. Right, so for hit protection, roll 1d6 to determine your PC starting hit protection. 1d6, which reflects their ability to avoid damage in combat. It does not indicate a character's health or fortitude, nor do they lose it for very long. If an attack takes the PC's HP exactly to 0, the player must reference the scales table. So he's got 2 HP. HP of 2. Right. So finally, roll for your character's age. 2d20 plus 10. So 2d20 plus 10. Was that 10, 29, 33, 33 years old. I mean, I'll say 10, 20, 33, so 43, sorry, plus 10. So they've been out and about, so that's probably why they might actually know Jerrod. Right, if you are the youngest character, roll on the omens table. The results should be read aloud to the others. Does he have an omen? Let's have a look. Might make it a bit more interesting, because what I'll probably end up doing as well is I've got an idea that I'll take this character not only just as his companion, but potentially he may end up having to go off and do stuff on its own that might enhance the story. So therefore he will be a separate playable character as well. So let's have a look. Let's roll a d20, see what potential omen he can have. Number 1. The once rich waters of a life-giving river have turned black and putrid, tainting the land and sickening those who drink from it. A village elder points to some recent desecration as the cause, but most do not heed their words. I like that. Okay, yeah, we're going to keep that. So omen, omen is at number 1. What I'll do, once I've finished drawing all this up, I will then put it onto a form fillable document, and then when we get to finishing this character all up, you'll be able to see it all in its finery. But yeah, so HP inventory. So characters have a total of 10 inventory slots, but can only carry 4 items comfortably without the help of bags, backpacks, horses, carts, etc. Each PC starts with a backpack that can hold up to 6 slots of items, or fatigue. Page 62. So I mentioned this in the previous video. When you start generating fatigue, you will actually start losing items. So you start with 10 slots in your bag. Fatigue drops. If you've got 6 items, then fatigue's not really going to hit until you've actually got up to that 6th item, in which case then you start losing items. Carts, which must be pulled with both hands. Horses and mules can make a huge difference in how much a PC can bring with them on an adventure. Hirelings can also be paid to carry equipment. So inventory is abstract, dependent only on the fiction as adjudicated by the warden. Anyone carrying a full inventory, i.e. filling all 10 slots, is reduced to 0 HP. A character cannot fill more than 10 slots. See, I don't mind the idea of inventory slots, but I also have this thing in my head that you should instinctively know what you can and cannot carry. So for example, you're not going to be wandering around, having 3 swords in your backpack, a load of bows, ton of, carrying a trader's worth of gear on your back and expecting so I would kind of look at the inventory as I go and have the inventory slot as a guideline. But for me, I think there's a certain degree of common sense behind what you can and cannot carry. So for Jerrod's case, he has no horse. He carries generally quite light. He's got his wheel sword, his bow, his backpack with his food and rations, and a couple of other bits and pieces. That's it. Any more than that, the guy ain't going to be able to get around the various places he needs to go. He can't be running uphill, carrying a load as though he's going on a major mountain trek up the Himalayas. It's not going to happen. So same thing. I would base inventory with a degree of common sense, but having said that, I will keep an eye on it. So inventory slots, most items take up 1 slot unless otherwise indicated. Petty items do not take up any slots. Bulky items take up 2 slots. A bag of coins worth less than 100 GP is petty and does not occupy a slot. So if we go back to the Outrider, so the Outrider has 3d6 gold pieces. 2, 3, 4, so 4 GP. 3 rations, 3 torches, 3 uses. Long sword, 10, as you can see, it shows it's bulky, so it takes 2 hands. Leather jerkin, +1 armor. Crossbow, D8, bulky, again, takes two hands, and a spyglass. What are we going to look here? So for your armour, so he's got +1 armour, +1 armour, and a crossbow. Are we going to roll? And the Horsey. Horsey gives us 4 additional, so horse has 6 HP and then +4 slots. Yeah, okay. And where do we go from here? So character traits. Oh yeah, that's not what. Are we good looking? Are we hideous? Are we sexy? Don't know. Let's have a go. So D10, D10, there's my D10. So D10, so physique. What's that? 3. Yeah, we're flabby. No surprise, we're riding around on a horse, so we're flabby. Skin. 10. Webbed. What the bloody hell's webbed? Webbed skin. Okay. So flabby. Physique. Skin is webbed. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I haven't got a clue. Right, hair. 6. We have long hair, of course we do. Long hair. We need long hair because we are riding around on our horse, and we need something to be flowing in the wind. Face. Let's have a look at face. We have an 8. Yeah, boat race. Sharp face. Yeah. Speech. 6. No, one mistake, I can't count. 9. He's a stutterer. Stuttering speech. What's his clothing like? 2. There was definitely a 2. Oh bloody. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Makes again. Bloody clothes. Battle worn, I would say, more than anything else. The guy, if he's anything like Jerrod, spends time out in the field, hardly comes home, doesn't really need to upkeep his appearance that well. So what's wrong with a little bit of blood? Virtue. Let's have a look. 7. He's humble. That's what we like. He's wearing bloody clothes, but he's humble. So humble virtue. And what's his vice? Where does he get his kicks from? Number 1, he's aggressive. He likes beating the crap out of stuff. That's the reason why he's got bloody clothes. So which probably will come in handy, because if he's aggressive and he has a sign of danger, I just think he's going to be uncontrollable, just straight in there, kicking the shit out of stuff. Okay, dokes. So where are we there? So that is your character traits. Anything more? We've done the bonds, we've done omens. Let me see what we've got on marketplace. So he's got 4 GP. Is he going to spend anything else? Or we're just going to go with what he's got. What does the spyglass do? I suppose spyglass is. Yeah, okay. Crossbow does what he says. D8 damage, level jerking, 1 armor. Yeah. Am I going to give him anything else? No, I mean he hasn't got that much cash, really. So we're only 4 GP. Yeah, no, we're only 4 GP. He can't buy bugger all apart from a bit of chalk. So he could buy a bit of chalk. He could be a serial graffiti artist. Who never knows? Who knows? Going around Glenwood tagging places. Right, okay. So we're going to keep his starting gear. And what are we going to call him? What kind of name suits a flabby web skin? I don't know what web skin is. Long head, long sharp face, a bit of a stutterer, bloody clothes, humble and aggressive. He's probably aggressive because he stutters and he got the piss ripped out of him all of his life for it. Hence the reason why he's an outrider. Right, so we've got Drake, Sarah, Keir, Darius, Valen, Rorik, Yara. I'm Talon. Rui. Does my character description fit a jury? Don't know. Darius. Keir. No, I can't call him Keir. No. Mind you, if he's got a stutter, I could call him Keir Stammer. Bada boom! But no, we're not going to do that. Valen. Yeah, could do. Bit of a Van Halen. Let's have a look. My dude's called Jerrod. Well, we've got Jerrod and Jory. Jerrod and Talon, Jerrod and Rui, Jerrod and Yara, Jerrod and Rorik, Jerrod and Valen. Yeah, that's got a bit of ring to it actually. Jerrod and Darius, no, we're not doing Keir. Jerrod and Sarah, Jerrod and Drake. I'm not doing Drake either. There's something quite pretentious about Drake. Don't know why. I'm going to go with Valen. Yeah, so we're going to call our dude Valen. And he rocks. So intelligent, so part of horse is done, and take a blacked out ledger, and then roll a second time on bot. So we have a blacked out ledger. What am I supposed to do this? Right, he has a blacked out ledger. There we go. So that is how you create a character in Cairn 2E. I'll just give you a quick flick through of some of the other dudes we're going to have. March Guard, Kettlewright, Jongler, Hexenbane, Half Witch, Greenwise, Fungal Forager. That sounds dubious. Foundling, Fletchwind, Field Warden. I mean, yeah, he could have been potentially good choice, but no. Cut Purse. See, I like Cut Purse as well. I was thinking about using him because at some point we need to go into the guild hall, and maybe having a Cut Purse on as a companion might have been handy for that, but you never know, might encounter one later on. Bonekeeper, the Jolly Doctor of sorts. Beast Handler, Barber Surgeon, another kind of doctory of sorts, and the Orifex. But anyway, yeah, there we go. So that is my character. So we have Valen the Outrider, strength of 14, dexterity 13, willpower 6, 2 hit protection. He's 43 years old. He's got 4 GP. He's got a horse. We should name the horse, really. Why don't you guys name the horse? Yes. Give me a good horsey name that I can use for him. In terms of his traits, he's a wee bit flabby. He spent too much time on that horse. He's got webbed skin, long hair, sharp face, stutter speech, bloody clothes. He's humble, but he's very aggressive. And he's got a blacked out ledger. Yeah, so tell me what you think of this character. Also, here's a thought as well. So there is already an association, we believe, between Valen and Blackmire and Jerrod. What is it? Now, is he somebody that he's met in his career? Or if we go back to when Ravenclaw first gave Jerrod the task of finding these items, is Valen also one of the members of the spy faction that Ravenclaw said we'll be keeping an eye out on him? So what is Valen's connection to Jerrod? So that's what we're looking at. Options. I'm going to put up another poll. 2 polls. 1, what is the connection? No, keep it 1 poll. 1 poll is what is the connection between Valen and Jerrod, and the other one isn't going to be a poll, but it's going to be a free option. Leave in the comments below, what is Valen's horse going to be? Let's give him a good horsey name. Something that suits flabby, web-faced, long head, sharp, stuttering, bloody clothed, humble but aggressive Outrider. On that note, I will speak to you later. Bye.